And R.J. Davis had his Heisman moment last night. If you're looking for the moment they're going to show at all the postseason awards, and your nominees for National Player of the Year are R.J. Davis, highlights of a 42-point night will play. He had his Heisman moment last night. ACC Player of the Year. You can scratch his name on the trophy. Etch. Scratch is probably not you can etch it.
Chisel it on there.
Yeah. Scratching it sounds like it's like the illicit, like the unauthorized version, like you stole a trophy and took your keys out. No, they can etch it on there. 42 points in a close game in the ACC is bananas. So bananas, it's a new Dean Smith Center record. So bananas. Think of all the great UNC players that have played in the Dean Dome. Think of all the great UNC players and visiting players that had played in the Dean Dome. None of them had scored 42 points. You probably recognize the guy whose record he broke. Tyler Hansbrough had 40. He's the first Tar Heel to outscore the rest of his team since another guy you've probably heard of, Michael Jordan, 1983, who had a career high of 39. More than 50% of the points scored for UNC in an ACC basketball win in conference were scored by R.J. Davis. The last time a Tar Heel scored more than him in any kind, you have to go back to 1970, 54 years ago, to Charlie Scott having 43 against Wake.
Whew.
50 years.
It's a long time.
And oh, by the way, just in case you think, right, I saw a quote from him in high school during some coverage when he was committing to UNC that said he was born to score. That he said that, which is a pretty baller thing to eventually go on and break scoring records at UNC. But in case you're thinking like, oh, he must just be a one-dimensional player. He's a volume shooter. He's a flamethrower. With his 4 rebounds last night, this all, by the way, according to UNC men's basketball stats, give them credit for looking it all up.
Steve Kirshner, their SID, puts in yeoman's work with this stuff.
Give all the credit where it's due. With his 4 rebounds last night, R.J. Davis became the first player in UNC history to score 1,800 points, 200 three-pointers, 500 rebounds, and 300 assists.
There it is.
Now, that's pretty specific. Like, don't get me wrong. He's probably a couple over each, but that means Hansborough. That means, you pick your Kendall Marshall. Pick them all. I don't know why those were the 2 that I decided to stumble into. Mm-hmm. Jordan, Worthy, Perkins. There were other ones I could have gone
Vince
to.
Carter.
Vince Carter, Rasheed.
Yeah. Eric Montross.
Sean May, Rashad McCants.
Julius Peppers never did.
Julius Peppers. Yeah. If you add in and 100 career NFL sacks, then there's only one guy that you can. There's only one guy you can add into any of those lists.
I think he's 10th all-time scoring now. From
maybe at this point, if you told me like he's the first to I don't know, do just about anything, I'd believe it. Because after last night, it felt like, again, Steve Kirshner, their SID over there, it felt like he had an unlimited amount of stats that R.J. Davis was putting himself in rarefied air. Let's hear from R.J. Davis after the game on the moment, the teammates, and his confidence.
I'm just locked in and just confident in myself and my shot. I'm also getting open. Like, my teammates do a good job of setting screens and finding me to make these shots. And once I get my groove like that, it feels like I can't miss. And for me, I feel like I could have had 50, but I missed free throws and whatnot. But I just felt good and just. The ball felt good. The shots felt good. So, just everything felt great tonight.
I love – could have had 50. You had 42, career high by a decent number. I should have had 50. I love that. Also, credit to his teammates, right? The funny part is you look at their final box score and you see like pretty much no one else scored any considerable amount. Well, yeah, why would you?
Yeah, no one had more than, I think, 8.
So, hey, that guy has it going right now, and he's playing the type of basketball. Those step backs and stuff are just unguardable, right? That's not, if they double team him, we have to. No, if they double team him and he's hitting step backs off the dribble, just keep shooting him. There's nothing that the other team can do, so they just let him take over. That's a selfless move by his teammates. Also, it's a bounce back from that Virginia game. It's kind of hilarious. Yesterday on the show, I said out loud, Against Virginia, he scored the fewest amount of points in a game since mid-November. The third game of the season against, UC Riverside in Atlantis was the last time he scored as few points as he did against UVA in their previous game. To come out the next game and put up 42, that's a bounce back. That's everything I was looking for from him. Cormac Ryan led the team in scoring against UVA. I said, you know what? You probably want to depend more on R.J. Davis. It's nice that Cormac Ryan proved if a team's going to sell out to stop R.J. Davis and Baycott and Ingram, that Cormac Ryan can carry it. But, starting last night, I wanted him to get back to their guys that do what they do, right? Get back to your leading scorer being your leading scorer. 42 points later, mission accomplished. Should we nitpick?
Why not?
Okay, I'm not even going to nitpick. This is the best part. There's at least one Twitter follower that gets very mad at me when I nitpick Carolina, even though it's out of high expectations, right? It's the whole, when the coach stops yelling at you thing, that means he doesn't care. I'm when you're going to be a top 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, I'm going to be a little bit harder on you. But I don't even have to do it this time. I went to UNC's team website. I went to their website, and I just picked a couple sentences that I'll read to you. So shout out to them for their honest coverage. Davis, this comes from their team website, part of their recap. Davis made 7 3-point shots, 7 2-point shots, and 7 free throws. Did the Heels need every one of those points? Yes. We'll worry about that tomorrow. That's from their website. Right? When R.J. Davis scores 42 against a team that's on a 6-game losing streak and you needed every single one of them, we'll worry about that tomorrow. That's what they said. How about this? Later on in the same article, look, the end of the game wasn't pretty as Miami went on an 11-0 run. I'm not pointing it out, they are. What about this? Later on in the same article, worrying about the rest of the Tar Heels scoring just a combined 33 points is a worry for another day, as is the bad late free throw shooting on the way to going 12 for 21 from the free throw line. That's them pointing it out. That's maybe they're trying to get ahead of it, right? They're just you can't. They're going full Eminem and 8 Mile. You can't say anything bad about us. We already put it on our own team article. What about Hubert Davis in the postgame? Their head coach, again, getting ahead of it. Here's Hubert Davis postgame. Eventually.
The best scenario for a coach is this one, is fortunate enough to get a win, but also have a lot to talk about. And so I'm looking forward to, we have off tomorrow, but I'm really looking forward to watching this entire game on Wednesday with the team to see what we can learn and grow from.
If there is ever a coach saying they're looking forward to practice or a film session, probably not going to be super fun for the team. I'm looking forward to watching this one, fixing what we can fix. Usually means there's going to be some harsh words. And again, none of that is from me. That's from them. And the funny part is, right, worry for another day. We'll worry about that tomorrow. Guess what? Today is tomorrow. Right? So today is the day we can have these conversations. They said all that yesterday. Today is the tomorrow to worry about it. The fact of the matter is, if R.J. Davis scores 42, you're going to win an overwhelming amount of the games where that happens, but it's not going to happen often. Right? That's you can hope that he does it every game, but hope's not a strategy. We talk about it all the time. You can hope that he wakes up feeling like Steph Curry and he wants to do a bunch of step back off the dribble, knockdown jumpers. You can hope. But, plan for maybe he misses a few of those. Right? I think it's ironic that he had 7 3s, 7 2s, 7 free throws, right? That's lucky. That's a slot machine, right? 7, 7, 7. That's craps. That's a wonderful day.
Go buy a lottery ticket with that.
Go buy a lottery ticket. Are college athletes allowed to do that? I'm not sure.
I think you can.
I hope so. But
7.
But I just don't want to advocate for something and then end up check with your compliance officer around the athletic facility before listening to anything we say. But I do give a lot of credit to R.J. Davis for bouncing back from that UVA game. I give the team a lot of credit for noticing that their guy was on an all-time heater and setting him up, and a lot of credit, even as ugly and as shaky as it was down the line, for having the patience and the poise to come away with the win, even as things began crumbling at the end. UNC gets a win. They deserve to be atop the ACC.